Let's take a look at the best image generation and AI photo manipulation tool and how you can simplify your life and not waste all your time doing this.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Now, if you didn't already know, I'm talking about Flux One Pro, Ultra, and Max context. And sure, Midjourney has the upper hand when it comes to surrealism, and I'm a huge fan. But Flux definitely takes the cake in fidelity in most scenarios, and it even has an upper hand in blind studies on the hugging face spaces. And I'm talking about more with the paid version of Flux, which is consistently at the top 10. Now, the versions that you get on Comfy UI are actually further down the ratings below Midjourney, but they still produce some pretty good art. Definitely the paid models are always up higher on the list. So simply put, Flux One Pro, Ultra, and Max context is simply amazing, and it's high fidelity and accuracy in its ability to do photo manipulation and edit things. It's like you have your own graphic artist, but for 10,000% less cost, and you could summon the graphic artist at any time. Just ask and you shall receive. This guy wants to be with his waifu? Well, there you go. Now, this girl doesn't like this guy, but we can change that. And everyone's having fun at this party? No, they're not. Truly amazing. So you can pretty much do anything with this tool, and it's very accurate. Now that you're up to speed and understand that Flux One paid models can generate some of the most gorgeous art with consistent characters, generation, and supreme Photoshop capabilities, like, look at this. This works perfect. Now let's take a look at how much it costs. But before we do that, if you're enjoying the video, please leave a like. It helps me out a lot and it gives me the energy to make another video. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to do this video is because it's very confusing right now. Flux is everywhere, but it's hard to find the actual Flux. So you really have to look for BFL.AI. Don't worry about looking for Flux. Just type BFL.AI into the browser and press enter, or use the link in my description to go to the site that you actually need to, because there's a lot of copycat sites out there and they're not legitimate Flux partners, but their name would be like Flux, AI, AO, IO, which is very confusing. Their name is very similar, and some of them even have BFL.AI but with IO at the end, so that's very confusing. But here you are in BFL.AI, and then it'll automatically go to these models Flux context or redirect you there. But if you look at products over here, you got pricing, which is we're going to take a look at in a second. Then playground, that's where you'll actually generate pictures. And then GitHub will actually show you how to install it locally for free. So you can use Flux Dev and Flux Schnell for free, even Flux context. But there's a learning curve and you're going to have to put it in Comfy UI. And then your dashboard is going to show you how much credits you have left and things like that. So let's go into pricing and see how much this thing costs. All right, so for the low price of $999 a month, you can actually use Flux context. This is more for like corporate, actual business making thousands, hundreds of thousands of images a month. So we don't have to pay that much. Let's go to API, and this is what we're looking at paying. So for Flux Context Max, which is their best model, and it's also their fastest model, it's 8 cents per image. And then Flux Context Pro is 4 cents an image. It's going to be a little bit slower, but it's still pretty good and almost comparable to Max. Then you have Flux Ultra, which is 2K resolution with the option for raw realism, similar to what Midjourney has, and this is 6 cents per image. And then you got the non-Flux Context Pro, the Flux 1.1 Pro, for 4 cents an image. Then you have Flux 1 Pro. I don't know why the 1 Pro is more expensive than the 1.1. Maybe someone could explain that in the comments. And then there's your Flux One Dev, and that's what you can get in Comfy UI. You could use this one for free, but really, why suffer installing that and having to update and work with separate workflows when it's actually 2 cents here, 2.5 cents. So to create 2 images is 5 cents. One thing that's very important to understand for pricing is that by default, it generates 4 images per generation. So if you're using the Flux Context Pro model, which is 4 cents, and then you're generating 4 images, that's actually 4 times 4, so that's 16 cents per generation because it's charging you per image. So if you don't want that to happen, you could click on the ellipsis down here in the prompt next to the generate button, and then you'll have the ability to change some things about it. You can change aspect ratio, you could change the batch size, you could change it to 1, so you only get charged 4 cents instead of 16 cents. But keep in mind, to get that perfect image, you might have to do 1 or 2 generations. Then prompt upsampling, that's increasing the image's resolution by adding some pixels. Usually it starts at a lower resolution and then it upscales it to a higher one to enhance the detail and the sharpness. Output format, you only got JPEG and PNG. Then last you have seed. If you want to recreate an image, you can define a seed. If you click in here, you could define a seed. But if you leave it at random like I do, it just generates a new image every time. And if you go to edit, you won't see the ellipsis by default. You'll actually have to upload an image. So once you upload an image, you'll see the ellipsis button. Just go ahead and click on it. Then you can change the batch size. And then when you click generate, you'll get a failed image. I don't know what happened here, but it prompted as black. So let's try it again. I'm trying to make a video here, Flux. And there you go. So you're only being charged per generation now. Now I generated again because it turned out black at first and it was just taking a very long time to load. But these are two separate generations that cost only 4 cents each. All right, so let's buy some credits and start generating some pictures. To do that, just go over here to products and go into Playground. And Playground is the tool that generates images, and there'll be a little dashboard that you can get to if you go to my account here, and then you can add credits by clicking on this plus icon or where it says add credit. Before you do that, you'll need an account, but you can actually just click on here and then it'll ask you if you want to sign up with your Google account and just do that. You can also sign up from the BFL.AI main site, but click add credits and then choose which one you want. You want the $10 with 1,000 credits. It's pretty much 1 penny per credit. And remember, an image is about 4 to 8 credits, with Flux Pro Max being the 8 cents. And then you can also generate images for as low as 2.5 cents with the Flux Dev model. Once you choose the amount of credits you want, just go ahead and click add credits. When you first log in, you'll always be greeted with this: welcome to Flux Playground. I'm 18 and over. Sure. Click check mark and then press get started. Now, perhaps the most important part about your credits is that they don't expire. So this is their help page and it says here credits expiration. Your credits don't expire. You'll have them for as long as you don't delete your account. Credits rollover, your credits will automatically roll over to the next month. You don't have to worry about losing them, which is awesome. Now, I'm usually not a fan as the pay-as-you-go model, but this is pretty amazing because if I don't use my credits next month, it's not going to disappear. It's going to roll over and I could just basically buy 1,000 credits and just use it as I go. I don't feel the pressure of using it, and I don't feel the pressure of having to use my subscription or being charged next month for it. Fun fact, VO3 is $250 a month, and if you don't use your credits, they disappear. They just poof, they just vanish. So I really like this model, and it's just such value. Put in 1,000 credits and you can forget about it and come back to it when you need it. There is no reason to not put $10 in here and just Photoshop when you need. I use the word Photoshop. I shouldn't do that. It's photo manipulation, but Photoshop is just such a general term that people use. Speaking of Photoshop and Photoshop skills, let's take a look at what instruction-based image editing can do. So let's try some of our own examples. So go to products if you're here, and then go to playground again. And now we're on playground.bfl.ai, which is where we generate images. And we have 4 options. We have generate, edit, fill, and expand. So generate is what you think it is. You generate an image and you can do perfect text. This is one of the most coherent generators out there. And you could even use a reference image and upload something here to generate. You could change the models as well. Flux Pro is going to run you 4 cents. You could change it to max, which is faster, but it's going to cost 8 cents per generation. Then edit is what I use this tool for. So this is like your photoshopping or your photo manipulation using text-based editing. So you basically drag an image in here like this one of this ninja, and then you just type what you want her to do. So I put the ninjas riding a horse running away from other ninjas. Hopefully that makes sense because it's running and riding, but we'll just see what it does. As you can see, I got some options here of her riding a horse running away from other ninjas. And this is a cool way you can do consistent characters and take these still images and put them in a frame in VO3 or Midjourney to create a little cartoon. But it did a good job there, and it was that easy. It took like 10 seconds. All right, so let's try fill out and then let's give her wings. So I'm going to put just this big thing right here. Now I'll just put girl has angel wings. And just like that, she now has angel wings that match her character. And it did a pretty good job at putting it in there. Better than I could ever do with Photoshop. Just for fun, let's go back to edit and turn that picture into a photorealistic image. So I said, make this picture photorealistic. Let's see what that looks like. And just like that, you got a creepy looking photorealistic picture of this guy with his wife on a unicorn. So let's try expand. But I wanted to expand this image here, but I didn't notice that extra arm here. So let's just take it out and use, instead of add, let's use remove. And it's done, and check it out. It removed it perfectly without removing her hair or her back. Well, this one is still there, but there's at least one picture where it's perfect. And if I did this, I would have erased her back, and then this would be all smudgy and you could see where I did the editings. This is amazing that it could do the photo manipulation for me. So I love this tool. Just click on the picture you're satisfied with, click the check mark, and then you could download it. Or you can edit it some more by clicking this button down here. All right, let's expand this picture. This is a picture I created with OmniGen, and I took two different models that were photorealistic and I made them anime cartoonish and put them, or actually Pixar, and put them in the same photo together. And as you can see, it did a perfect job at making this 16:9. Now I have had trouble with 9:16 photos, but 1:1s and anything else that's not too thin does a really good job. So I like this one. I'm going to click the check mark to keep it. All right, so let's do some product mockups. And so I have this crazy hat, and maybe some people like it. Man, is that a captain or an admiral? It has a lot of fancy stuff on the brim. But anyways, let's say a guy wearing the hat on a boat, and click generate. All right, I had some crazy generations here, but this one came out pretty nice. So let's take a look at it. So if you were selling this hat on Amazon, you can totally just do this and put that picture there. And this hat actually looks like it's been used, which is pretty cool. It fit his head and everything. It's perfect. Here's another one, but the guy's face looks a little too airbrushed. Normally you get one perfect option and some not so perfect ones, like this one. Pretty hilarious. I don't even know what the AI was thinking there. Let's try another one of this dress that I found on Amazon, and I'm going to type something down here. So this was just a normal product photo, and I'm just giving it a model to fill it out and to see what it would look like on a person. This is great for mockups. Oh, we have a problem. Maybe I shouldn't define. I'll just say wearing this dress. And here you go. There's a girl wearing the dress, displaying it for you so you can sell it on Amazon or wherever you want. And you can use this commercially. You're totally allowed to if you're on the paid model. If you had the free model, Flux Dev and Schnell, don't do that. Don't put it on Amazon unless you're just risking it. But I mean, look at it. It's great. And you know how expensive it would be to get a model that looks this good? And man, the AI does a perfect job. All right, so now for the ultimate test, let's try to repair some photos. So here's something you normally see with old photos. There's a lot of creases in there and tears. Let's try to fix this and colorize it at the same time and increase some of the resolution. As you can see, it did an amazing job. Look at that. It's perfect. It colorized it, it removed the tears and the creases, it increased the resolution, and it did it in 10 seconds. That takes quite some skill in Photoshop to go from this picture up here to these pictures down there. Let's try an even worse one. So if you didn't know, up here at the top left, you can start over to try a new picture. All right, let's try this photo here, which is pretty bad. It has a lot of cracks, and it's from a long time ago. And just like that, perfect. Took out all the cracks. Looks very nice. Let's do some useful photo manipulation. And here we have this guy, and this is the only picture he has, and he's super dirty, but he needs to make a LinkedIn profile and look professional. So let's see what we can do and ask the AI to clean him up and put him in a suit. And just like that, it perfectly put him in a suit. It didn't change too much. His smile is still there, and he's not dirty though. His glasses aren't dirty, and he's wearing a suit, and he looks very presentable. And I also asked the AI to recreate him with a Studio Ghibli style, or Ghibli, whichever it is. Next, we have this girl. You remember her. So we're gonna try and give her a GTA cover art style with a beach in the background. Let's see what that looks like. And it's perfect. She got the shades and everything. Very reminiscent of that GTA photo that is infamous with Lindsay Lohan suing for her likeness. But the AI did a very good job. Flux does a very good job. Now we have this girl with the cat ears. I'm going to ask it to put AI on the left and then Phi on the right. And I'm going to have it etched in the walls, or kind of like a raised text. And there you go. It did it perfectly. That's really good. It looks like it was in the photo to begin with. So that's pretty amazing that it did that first try. Now let's do the same thing with this girl, but we're going to put it in the clouds behind her in different types of styles. All right. So the first one is the basic one. This looks very reminiscent of an album cover, and it did a very good job how some of it's hidden behind her. It looks very good. But the next one's even better. It has that kind of glowing fire effect or pastel light effect, and it matches the fire pretty good, and it matches everything in the photos. So very good job there. And last but not least is my favorite. We have this cloud right behind her with the words AI FI etched out in that cloud. And so I can do this in Photoshop, but it takes me a while actually. So the fact that it did this in 10 seconds is crazy. And we got this girl I generated, and I tried to make the conditions in the back kind of bad, but it looks like she's being kidnapped or something. Those walls are really bad. But let's see if we can improve it and put her in a professional studio with some great lighting. And just like that, it's studio quality. So you no longer have to stand in a nice room, and it doesn't matter what's in the background. And you could just make a professional studio quality photo just like that for 4 cents. Isn't that crazy? And here she is again with a darker gray background, which looks really nice as well. Now I created this girl as well with the background. It's terrible. It looks like some post-apocalyptic kind of place where people get kidnapped. It looks terrible. But let's say your room looks like that, but you still want to do a modeling shoot. So just take the picture, then ask kontext to change everything in the back. And there you go. Just like that, by asking kontext, you don't need to have a studio and that backdrop. You just ask for it. So your room could pretty much look like this, as bad as this, and then you just ask Flux to fix it. And then you get professional grade studio quality background and lighting. Pretty amazing. In this one, I asked Flux to put her in a dress inspired by Spider-Man, and then she's in an alleyway. Very confusing task, but the AI was able to put that together pretty good. Now here's the girl in Hawaii overlooking Waikiki. I mean, you don't have to actually go anywhere anymore. You could be an influencer and say you went there just by putting yourself in the picture with the background fluxed in. Now I made her character in Cyberpunk, and it turned out pretty good. And I one-upped it again and added the word Cyberpunk 2077, and it does text really well. That looks exactly like the Cyberpunk 2077 sign. The color scheme, everything about even her hair, it's perfect actually. This is very cyberpunk-ish. So as you can see, this tool is amazing. I just scratched the surface. You can try all different types of things, and it pretty much listens to whatever you ask it for. So go ahead and try it out yourself. I mean, what do you got to lose? It's like 4 cents per image and $10, and the credits don't expire. So even if you only use like $1 and you come back like in 6 months, you can still use Flux kontext later on, according to their FAQs. So I don't know if things change in the future, but right now that's their stance, and that's pretty cool. Now here's a scene, a short clip from VO3, and I combined multiple clips, but between each clip I use Flux kontext to create different scenes for this consistent character. So it did a pretty good job, actually perfect at keeping it together. And that allows me to just upload the next frame and keep extending the video. And here's another one where the guy's pillow comes to life and his dreams come true. His very own waifu. It's a romance.
Oh my god, my wish came true!
Alright, last but not least, I use this to make my thumbnail, and this is so good at making thumbnails. And if you have a YouTube channel and you need to make thumbnails, this is a great tool because you don't even have to pay monthly. You just add the credits, and if you don't make a video for a month or something, you could just come back in. The credits don't disappear, and you just come in here when you need to make a thumbnail. And so I asked it to write AI edit anything on the wall with a metallic text, and I wanted it inside the image as something that was an object on the wall, and it did it. Well, these three kind of messed up, and I like this one on the right the best. So I asked the AI to correct the spelling in the top one here, and it did it perfect for each one. As you can see, AI edit anything, it corrected the spelling. Looks good. Now I tried some other things. I tried to tell it to put Flux it, then I added a neon sign here in the bottom. This looked pretty nice too. And then over here, it kind of made a mistake and it just kind of did the sign, took the girl out. And this one I was thinking of going with, but I wanted something a little bit more clicky. And here's the clickbait, rip Adobe. And I know a lot of people are mad right now. There's a lot of fans of Adobe, and this is not going to kill Adobe. A graphics artist who has a lot of skill can do some really, really good things with Adobe, but they can't do it in 10 seconds. They can't. I created all of this in like 2 minutes. So that's insane. And look, it ingrained it into the wall. That's going to take a lot of work to actually do this, and you have to have a lot of skill. So for the regular people like me and 90% or 99% of the human population who can't get these results. But I mean, look at this. It's amazing. It's even painted, has that pastel, it matches with the photo, and there's the little bump here for like a bolt or something. The imperfection to match the kind of minimalistic look of the wall and everything else in the photo. So super good job. And then I asked it to do it in neon lighting. So this wasn't colorful enough. So I asked for rainbow lighting. Then I asked for inspiration from cyberpunk, and they all look perfect. They all look really, really good. And there's even one where I asked it to match the theme. If you're making thumbnails or any signs or posters or anything, this thing is a lifesaver. And the fact that the model is pay as you go is so amazing, because this is the type of pay as you go that you want, because the credits don't expire. You don't have to pay monthly. You don't have to think about it. The tool is just always there for you when you need it. And if you use up the credits, you can just replenish it. The major advantage this has over the free models especially is the fact that you could do this anywhere. Like you could take your laptop somewhere to a site and you could do this for people as a business. Even if you already had the beefy graphics card like the 4090s or the 5090s or the 3090s, you need to lug around that big PC with that video card and all the fans that can pull down a 5090. And then you always like run into issues if you want like a different workflow and then you have to change it. That's going to be a problem. But you do have a lot more flexibility when it comes to Comfy UI. There's so many different workflows that people have created, even to the point where you can make videos, you could do creative upscaling, you could do so many things with Comfy UI. So that is still why people should use it, and I use it. But if you're just doing the editing, generating, filling, and expanding, like this tool is for everyone, because the credits just stay there and it's there when you need it. So Flux and Flux Kontext is the cream of the crop, and kontext is so useful in many different scenarios. You can create a consistent character for professional cartoon or movies and then animate it with a free tool like WAN-GP 2.1, FramePack F1, or maybe even a paid tool like Midjourney, which I'll leave videos on all those tools in the description. But I think perhaps the number one rated feature using kontext is definitely its character consistency and the ability to take your character and put them in multiple scenes doing all sorts of different things in different places. And that's how you can really create an extended movie or do some serious advertising. And this is like the easy mode for making a short film, because you can create the multiple scenes and then just work on the animation part through Midjourney or whatever tool that you choose. I mean, if you choose VO3, you must have a lot of money, but it helps out a lot to have a consistent character in different scenes. And now Midjourney does have a feature that does consistent characters, kind of. It's called omni-reference, but it's not as strong as kontext, not even close. And then there's OmniGen 2, which is open source. That's pretty cool, and it can do NSFW. There's different tweaked models because it's open source. And so you can do things like gore and or even bloody scenes, which a lot of the paid stuff is kind of squeamish at. So that's how you use the paid version of Flux, but there's many different places that you can utilize Flux API. But if you want to get started, go ahead and go to my video description and you could get directed to the correct website. That's all I had for now. But if you wanted to watch some more AI content, there's actually a video of how to make unlimited videos from images with Midjourney, as well as how do you add audio for free to those silent videos using Audio, which is easily installed through Pinocchio. It also goes over how to install Pinocchio. Those should be popping up right now, and you should go check those out. But if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It helps me out a lot, and take it easy.
Oh my god, my wish came true.